We'll get into that in a second.
That just means I'm probably more expensive.
This is the Awesome Life Podcast.
I'm awesome! Team Awesome!
This is the Awesome Life Podcast.
Yeah.
I am your host, Mr. Phoenix.
Here with Chili. And who do we got? What do we got?
Returning
today?
guest.
Yep.
Marshall Baker.
Okay.
Marshall.
Full name.
Marshall.
Full
He
government.
gave the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
What for our audience that don't know you,
For the ladies on the south side, it's Marshall G. Baker.
on the south side, you should probably hold that or get
Yeah,
closer.
stroke it the way you was before we
Yeah,
started
we're not gonna go there, bro. we said we weren't gonna go
All
there.
right, we're not going there. All right. So,
Mm.
who are you?
Who are you?
Again, Marshall Baker.
Tell us about yourself.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
No, you might have been born there. You're not.
Well, that's... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm from Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a man of many hats and talents, a stand-up comedian,
Okay.
a project manager for a roofing company,
Ooh.
Okay.
All
a
right.
Emmy one-time watcher. I think
What?
that's an award. I only watched the Emmys one time.
And you give yourself clout for it.
I do on this podcast.
Fair enough.
He deserves it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. Well,
He's a
Um,
culture vulture.
A two-time lettering high school wrestler.
I'm surprised you're not wearing a do-rag.
A non-do-rag wearing person.
I will not be drinking on this podcast.
No,
I am not
Yeah.
feeling well. I am under the
there's-
weather.
Yeah, drinking's bad. We don't encourage it.
I'm not a drinker.
Man, I can't believe what got taken down because we had like alcohol. Was that a TikTok? Yo,
We just had beer on it.
I'm not a drinker, but I sip a lot.
Yeah,
They're suppressing our views, bro.
TikTok is hating on
They're
us right
suppressing
now.
our
TikTok
views.
is
That-
depressing your views?
That
No,
video, the dog
yeah,
video.
yeah.
I tried to help boost it because like I felt like it was gonna do good, but I wanted it to do super good. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna spend some money on it. And I spend money, and they're like, "Nah, we're not gonna let you."
Yeah, dude.
I've shown it to a lot of people, and everybody thinks it's hilarious.
No, it's
Yeah,
a good.
it's
It's clever.
I'm not saying it should have gone a million views, but we should have got like 10,000.
right.
You know,
Well,
they said
compared to,
F that shit.
I mean, again,
I personally thought it was better than your assassination video. I can't
Oh,
even
that's
talk.
fair.
did you guys ever watch
Fair.
that
That was a banger, though.
that
was.
documentary
Literally.
about making memes that blow up and videos that blow up?
No.
Documentary.
Yeah, there was a documentary about it. They did like a little study. That's where the Shia LaBeouf "Just Do It" thing came from.
Just do it.
It was literally a company hired a bunch of people to try and create little memes and little videos that would go viral. And they did a study on the object of going viral. And the one thing
no
they
shit.
found that any time they actually sat there and they were like, let's make a viral video,
Yeah,
never made a viral video. The Shia LaBeouf "Just Do It,"
that's
he was just
fair.
fucking around.
That's a good point. It's almost like we gotta not want to go viral to
Look,
go
Yo,
viral.
our best video, we weren't even expecting that
we
to
weren't.
go.
No,
Yeah.
we were just posting it because it was a good clip. That's
The-
all it was.
The best things these days are au naturel.
I guess.
People like it au
well,
naturel.
it's all natural. It's
They're,
just
they're tired of that Kim K ass. They're like, I want some real thighs with that.
I don't think she has fake thighs.
No, she has no thighs. And then this really weird bulbous thing.
thigh implants. That's wild. What are you saying about Kim K, bro?
I'm saying what everybody knows. What are you talking
All
about?
right, all right.
What-
fair
what
enough.
does
Seen
everyone
the
know
photos?
about
Fair
her?
enough.
Everybody knows her photos are getting doctored. And if you see a genuine photo of her walking around, she's
Uh-huh.
got these little pencil legs and then a bunch of chemicals just shot up into her ass. So it's just and then you start to feel bad for her.
Your onomatopoeias are like on point, right?
Thank
They
you.
are.
It's
Hey,
years of stand up.
But let's get into it, Marshall. What's some of your favorite travel destinations or destinations in general? And you cannot say the orphanage. So
That's funny.
Well, shucks, that's going to take a while now. Because orphanage is
that's
definitely
your whole
number one.
childhood.
You're an orphan?
Well, these days I go, no.
Oh.
These
No.
days,
See, this is exactly why that podcast.
He would have
didn't
had.
get- This is why I can't take you fucking serious, bro.
He would have had a better life at the orphanage.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm playing.
It's not true because I wouldn't have met all of you.
Oh, hey. Cheers.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
So
On an upwards note.
before we get into his travel destination, I want to talk about you, Marshall.
Talk about him.
I want to say the very first time I met you, I was like, this guy is an idiot. Who brought who brought this guy?
Wait,
Is this
when was the first time you met me?
fuck?
That's a good question. When
I can't give you.
first time.
I can remember. I remember we were in Chili's basement, and
Mm.
I met you. We might have been getting ready to podcast. I don't know.
Really?
It wasn't during the party era of Chili's house that I was a part of.
Mm.
But I
Party
met-
era.
It was a calm night. Like there weren't a lot of people there.
Yeah, it was
Okay, so you generally had some time to get a little one-on-one.
Yeah, you told me a fucking joke,
Yeah, probably.
and at the time, I don't think you told me you were a comedian.
Oh, I just started telling you
You
jokes.
told me like some Oprah joke, I think,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
and I was like, "Who is this fucking asshole?"
That's a great joke,
This
though.
bigot ass
That's a great
motherfucker.
joke.
Anyways, I you know, I was not expecting any of that. Like, I just met you, and you're just throwing these awkward ass jokes at me.
Oprah. The
Could
Oprah
you-
joke is a great joke, and I
I'm
stand
still
by
sending people stuff. Could you do me a favor and check the chat and make sure there's no one in the chat talking?
Yeah, I got you.
that.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that a little bit more. What specifically about me, other than the fact that I didn't tell you I was a comedian, and that we had just met?
Your sense of humor
And
is
the
just
jokes.
different than my sense of humor and what I'm used to.
Mm.
Like, he's met my friends.
Yeah.
My friends crack jokes, but not like
true
that.
jokes.
Not like, yeah, I mean however-
More
not stand-up comedian.
Witty
Yeah.
humor. I feel
Yeah,
your friends are
just
about.
quick, just real quick.
Yeah.
Mm.
You just hit me.
That was
he
that
tried
was a
he
little
tried-
that was a little hurtful. More witty
What?
humor.
Well, I mean,
all right.
it's not meant as a
They're
insult, but
quips. They're quips.
You,
They're
you,
like
know, you remember how Keaton
Quick.
was, right?
On the toes.
Yeah, you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
Keaton.
Improv
Keaton
type of
was
humor.
I was gonna say the three most witty people I've ever met.
Keaton was definitely one. of them.
Jimmy at work, and Corbin are probably the most wit.
Corbin also used to do stand up.
just right off the dome.
That is a funny thing. Everybody, when they meet me and they hear that I do stand up, the first thing they say is, "Wow, you must be really witty." I'm like, not
Well,
so much.
well, check.
It's
check this
hours
out.
of writing
I
and rewriting.
I wasn't expecting you to run a set on me. Like
Yeah.
the first time I meet you, like you told me like 3 consecutive jokes back to back.
Did I just walk away after that? I did that to a lot of people.
I was thrown off, and
And
then
he brought out the tip jar afterwards.
and then I saw you. I met you a couple. I mean, we came in contact a couple times, and I'm like, this guy really is fucking weird, man. It's fucking
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like probably like the 5th or 6th interaction with you where I was like, you know what?
I'm starting to get it.
He's kind of cool. He's weird as shit, but he's kind of cool, and you're good people.
That's his niche, bro.
You're good people.
Yeah. I think I sent you a video about that. The video goes, in my friend group, what am I known as? Well, I'm a bit of a weirdo and very shameful, but a little disgraceful, but I'm kind of a legend for that.
I guess.
I sent
I
it to you.
guess.
I was like,
See,
that's kind of
See, you don't know Marshall the way I know. I've known Marshall since I was 6 years old.
Bro, he told me a story about you and one of your other friends that's wild.
with Aaron at the.
We're not gonna say what y'all did.
I don't think that it
the
hasn't been
lake.
10 years.
No,
So,
that hasn't.
I'll
been
talk
10
about
years
that in
old.
10 years.
But no, you don't understand. You don't understand though, because
I did worse.
growing up, like in elementary
Oh my
school,
God.
everyone loved Marshall.
Okay.
Like Marshall was a very likable person in general. But the problem with Marshall growing up is he was a fucking pussy. And it wasn't until Marshall met me that I unpussified him, bro.
You unpussified him.
Unpussified him.
Is
bro.
that really a
because
thing?
I remember in high school when we were out, we were eating lunch, and we're out, and you're talking about all the shit that was going on in your life,
Oh, I
and
remember
the
that.
stress that it was causing you. And I was like, Marshall, you don't have to take that, bro. I was like, you do not have to take that kind of abuse
It
anymore.
was
bro.
a really funny conversation because most of it was literally just me going like, I guess I got to deal with it.
No,
And you went, you realize you could say no.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm
There's
like,
a little more to it
I'm
than
like,
that.
you don't
but
have
that's
to just say
essentially-
you don't have to say yes to everything. But then it like snapped. I put like some my voice was in the back of his head, and he turned into a fucking savage overnight. the
It
way
got
he
bad.
started
I
doing shit.
overcorrected.
Overcorrected,
By
100%,
by far.
100%. But you know, you're back to that.
By
You're back
far.
to that middle ground. I feel.
Here's the thing: I had still fought people before I met you. Like I'd fought a lot of random kids.
Did you
that I'd met.
did you ever
Yeah,
win?
but it wasn't like that.
I won a
wasn't
lot.
Like,
I had older brothers. So.
that was. I feel like that wasn't even like.
But it was
real,
just-
real fighting though.
Some of them
I
were-
know. I know how it gets.
some
when-
of them
when-
were
when
pretty
you're
serious.
roughhousing or whatever, and it gets.
I'm not
you
talking
know,
about roughhousing. Like before we hung out a lot, I used to go to like a skate park a lot, and there were douchebags there, and like that's not roughhousing.
you
I got
had
hit
a-
with a skateboard. Like
You had a conscious of like Nathan Boyles, bro.
yeah,
like,
very much
before.
so. Yeah,
Is that the guy with the? I'm not gonna say the type of strength he has.
Yes,
That guy?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
yeah,
Who we have
yeah.
the videos of him
Yes.
beating all of our asses. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that guy.
here's
But he's a very good guy.
essentially it was I grew up Puritist Christian. Do you know what that is?
I mean, I
Like,
guess
it's a
It's
denomination.
it's a denomination of Christianity. It's
like
like
it's Presbyterian.
it's been labeled recently. It's so I was told we were Presbyterian, and technically, yeah, we were Presbyterian. But Puritist Christian is like a subgenre that is just now being labeled. It dives into the human flaws quite a bit. It's got a little more of a Catholic twist to it. So it's
Okay.
like Christianity, but you still feel a little guilty. And then it's very against any form of dating or any form of sexuality whatsoever, to the point where up until I was about 17, I still felt guilty going on dates. Like I was sinning. Guilty.
Oh, really?
That was
Yeah.
17. That's after I was a savage. I just deep in my pit. I had this
So you felt guilty about just like
about
like
having
just-
flaws, being a human, going out and living life, smoking pot.
You
I
remember,
wish I was
Fighting
high
people?
on pot news.
you
It's my
remember,
joke.
you remember the first time? You remember the first time we ever? Yeah.
Smoke pot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good story.
Dude, Mark, we
All right, let's hear your
we sneak out of the house, right?
This is my first time.
And we walk
Okay.
down, and I got this pipe that I got from Guatemala, actually.
I think I heard this.
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
This might
And
be
so-
on the podcast the first time.
potentially, but anyway, we go to the spot, and we just load one bowl, take some hits. Marshall takes some hits, bunch of coffee. We're walking back. I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm high. And Marshall's like, I don't feel shit, man. This doesn't work. Yada yada. And we're walking, and then all of a sudden, Marshall just hits the ground, bro, and then gets right back up, and he's like, his eyes, he's like in a whole nother world. He can't even believe it. I'm like, Marshall, how are you feeling? And he's just looking at me. These
I was
fucking
like, I
eyes.
feel it.
and we walked back, and the story is really not even that crazy.
Well, in my perceptive, it felt quite crazy because I'm sitting there, nothing had happened. Chris is like, I'm high. Harry was like, I'm starting to feel a little something.
Shout out Harry.
Yeah, shout out Harry. And I'm just sitting there like I feel nothing. And then eventually, what happened was I looked up at the moon,
The moon.
and I was like, I guess they'll be high, and I'll just trip sit or something. I was like, this is boring. And then I saw a little black dot go whoo, and then 2 black dots, and then 8 black dots, and then
What
40
sound
black
did it?
dots.
What sound did it make?
Woo. Yeah. And then the dots just took up all of my vision, and I blacked out, and then I come to, and I'm just high as balls. And Chris is like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? And it probably took me a good 3 minutes to process what he was saying to me. Like I
was-
couldn't process the
He
words.
wouldn't even speak, bro. He's just looking at me.
Yeah. We eventually get back to his parents' house, and he's like sneaking in through the bottom window trying to make sure the coast is clear. I'm sitting in his front lawn doing this like Hindu kind of spiritual sit like this or whatever that is. And and Harry, the dude we're with, is like, "What are you doing?" And I looked at him, and I went, "You see that rock?" And there was no rock. It was Chris's mom's little greenery that she had for her
Yeah,
plants.
Yeah.
And I went, "That rock's there for me." And then I closed my eyes again. Just
yeah,
dumb shit.
dumb as shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's it like? When did you realize that you were funny looking?
So So before
we write these are terrible.
now that I got all that out the way, now
You just said funny-ish.
I
that
can
would've cut
interact
more.
with the chat and everything. Send it to as many people as I could. But ultimately, I want to say I do appreciate you. You're good people. I fuck with you.
Well, not to make you feel bad or anything, but I liked you right off the bat. I was like, this dude.
Most people do. Most people do. But thank you. I appreciate you. And
It took me a month to remember your name.
Did it?
I'm really bad
He's
with
got
names.
4 names.
You have 4 names?
I have 4 names.
Give me a.
It depends on which state we're in.
Avery,
Jared, Phoenix, Lyric, yeah, Ja,
keep it going.
Averex,
Keep it going.
A lot of these I
keep it
don't
going.
know about.
Upside down.
Jaja. Who else? What other names?
Use a rocky bottom.
Jer Bear.
Jer Bear. That's another one.
Oh,
I didn't hear that one until the last
yeah,
day.
Jer Bear.
Shout out Nathan.
J Hunnit. J Rock. Yeah, I got a lot. There's a lot. There's many names.
So I will say over my
what
life,
up, Max?
one face.
What up, Max? Shout out Max.
over my life, most people have liked me right off the bat, but pretty much everybody who's like Avery's type
Working.
of personality has not. I mean, like,
What do you mean?
What was that? Hold on. Rewind the tape.
everybody who's Avery's type of personality.
Wait, what kind of people don't like you?
Is it
Avery's personality.
Oh, personality.
Okay.
Oh, so ENTJs?
What?
Myers Briggs. I was just hitting you with like
Oh.
my personality type.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. If I don't know what your Myers-Briggs is.
I have the rarest, or one of the rarest types. However, it is the easiest to identify.
Huh.
So you can spot that motherfucker across the room.
Does it make you feel special at night
No.
when you cry yourself to sleep?
No.
I have the rarest Myers-Briggs test.
But this motherfucker.
It's like a dude walking around. I have AB positive blood. Look at me. Who gives a fuck?
We're clipping that.
It's all red, isn't it?
He's a universal
No,
donor.
I
right?
don't blame you. I bet I was super odd right off the bat.
Very.
At the time,
Still
too, Chris
are.
was bringing like, oh, thank you. Yeah, it's something.
It's an acquired taste, like I said.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
Like, I didn't like beer when I first drank it.
Facts.
Yeah,
I
nice.
love it.
I love it. Yeah, heck yeah. It is something too. Like, it's probably best if we keep it short bursts. Right?
Short. Yeah. You're good. Like a dash of you. here
Yeah,
and there?
yeah. It's like paprika. You put too much in, you ruin the cookies.
You put. Oh man, you're too much, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's it like being a comedian?
Well, it's interesting. Okay, so I actually got into stand.
What's interesting about it?
Well, yeah, I got you. I'll keep going. Well, the people are very weird. The weirdest part about stand-up is the other comedians and how comfortable you get with like fucking weird people. Like, if you really think I'm one of the more normal ones, I really am. Like, I've been told that. I see it on a daily basis, and you get kind of comfortable, and it does kind of fuck sometimes with your perception of other people. Like, we met. I was at work and we met this new guy, and he didn't last long because he was a really, really odd dude. But when I met him, he just kind of gave me stand-up comedian vibes, and I'm like, oh, that's chill. But he got fired right away because he's not a great dude. But I didn't pick up on that because I'm too used to being around pieces of shit.
Not a great dude, like.
Just not like responsible and very weird, and probably
Okay.
addicted to meth and.
Probably addicted to meth.
Like,
Well, most comedians are very like abusive of drugs or alcohol or any of that. So you tend to like when you see people like that, you don't even really register it anymore. You're like, yeah, that's Tim, and people are like, Tim's been doing heroin for like 3 months, and you're like, really? I couldn't tell. I've been around these types of people for so long.
that's fair.
Mhm.
You know, there's a rumor going around in 8th grade that Marshall gave his dog a blowjob.
He started it.
Yeah, we
I did start
he
that
started
rumor. I did start
Nobody
that rumor.
scrapped you, bro.
Well, okay. If you saw what I saw, if you saw what I saw, bro, there was good reason.
You're gonna keep us perpetually in fucking shadow ban land and fucking
dog.
TikTok. With
So,
yeah,
I
with
mean,
these comments, you really can't be making these comments.
bro, it's what I saw.
I
saw
can't
him
believe-
grab his dog, and I saw him do some deeds that I wish I could forget.
Oh my god,
He makes it sound so bad.
Yeah,
The dog was female. That doesn't make it sound better. I grabbed the dog's snout and I put my mouth on the dog's snout and I blew into the dog's nose. And then Chris, the next day, told everybody I gave my dog a blowjob.
It looked like it.
How does that look like it? If he
Because of
blew-
this,
It was a wiener dog, and he grabbed it. And
Yeah.
he was like,
Chris-
I don't even want to do the motion of
Chris
it,
is
bro. It was
simple-minded.
fake.
Chris sees a musician doing a concert and he's singing and he's like, "That dude's totally giving
Thing
a
is, I
microphone a
tell
blowjob."
people like what actually went down, and they're like, "Yo,
That's kind of.
that makes."
How many
sense.
people do you tell about that? How many people?
everybody.
Let me give you a better question. How many people know about that story that I don't know they know that story?
Not many. It was because that was in like what 8th grade.
Yeah.
So
That was when I really thought that would just go by the wayside, but it never did.
Chili,
yo,
you got to move in, and you got to move that out of your way, and you got to get it. We got to get it just a little closer, just a little closer, so the AI can gather our faces, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why we have a problem with it. Can you
think?
bring your
'Cause
thing
we're
down?
not-
Yeah,
because we're not close enough.
yeah. There you
Mm.
go. There you
Word.
go. That's
Word.
fine.
Life as a comedian is a little bit tough because most comedians are shaped through A, not enough attention, B, not enough gratification throughout their life, and 3, not enough love throughout their
So
life.
are you
Sure.
do
So-
we have to do this on the couch? Like,
We could.
you
I
know,
could
lay
use
down on the
a
couch?
place to put my feet up.
Yeah.
Well, so I was the youngest of 6,
okay,
so I did not get a lot of attention.
it's
As a
hard.
child.
It's hard. Hard to divvy up all that.
I got the most attention when I did something funny throughout my whole childhood. So that's what I tried to
like
do.
class clown type of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And it started off as class clown, and then eventually I started getting obsessed with communication and how communicating with people, saying certain words one way or the other
Yeah.
way, or inflection here and there, would
Yeah.
invoke a certain response, and I found that fascinating. And so I just I started researching that more on stage.
Well, let me ask you this: so when you're doing a set, what do you base like the success of that set off of? Is it just purely how many laughs you get? Is it how you feel the delivery was? I guess how do you determine like what was successful or not?
I'd say there's 4 factors. I've said a joke a certain way, and I was like, I've got a better way to say it, and it got a lot of laughs. And comedians were like, "That's a good joke," but I
Yeah.
wasn't really proud of how I delivered it because I knew I
Okay.
had a better way.
You could do it better. Yeah.
Yeah. The other way is the crowd, and there's 2
Sure.
things with the crowd. They'll laugh right then and there, and some people will be nice because keep in mind you're looking right at them, and they're looking at you.
Oh,
So
like
sometimes people,
pity laughs.
yeah, you get pity laughs.
That makes sense.
Sometimes they're laughing at you, not with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and both are okay in reality. But you've crushed it, and I've had this happen a couple times when people come up to you after the show and they're like,
Oh,
"Yo,
okay.
that was really good," and they want to buy you a beer and they want to chat your ear off,
Okay.
and maybe their girlfriend wants to hook up with you, but you're like, "That's not how this works." Plus, this is pretty awkward, and plus, I'm tied down and I've got a beautiful woman at home, and you're pretty ugly, so. I'm kidding.
Well, and then I think they're like
That's when you really know you made it.
Sure.
you know when you're in your bag.
Mhm.
You know when you feel that you just dropped 30 on someone's head. Time.
Yeah. And then there are a few comedians, just like anything you do in life.
Tell me.
Yeah. Just like anything in life, you have a few mentors around you
Yeah.
where if you kill it and you absolutely kill it, your mentor is like, "Great job."
Do
So there are a few comedians in the scene that I have respect for their opinion and what they say about my stand-up. And I've had shows where it was a really great show. People even came up to me afterwards, and then I talked to those comedians, and they were like, "It was a great show. You've definitely written better stuff." Or like, "You could have done this a lot better."
they keep it real with you.
They keep it real. It's also
Yeah,
good
you
to have
don't
that.
need
They
you
keep
don't
you
need
grounded.
you don't need yes men around.
No,
Yeah.
and your head will really get fat when people are coming up after a show
Yeah.
and celebrating that. So to have another person come up and be like, "Oh yeah, great show. This delivery was a little off." You're like, "Okay, I'm still I'm still a
it's
person.
it's a work in progress
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah,
I
always.
I remember. I remember we had just finished our first. I was in a rap group. If you didn't know, our first mixtape was called Awesome Sauce Volume 1. And
Sauce.
and what we do is we would like take whatever the hot tracks were, get the instrumental, and do our own remixes. And we passed it out to a bunch of fucking people, like guerrilla marketing.
Mhm.
And one of the people that we handed it out to was like one of my regular bartenders, a friend of mine. Her name was Claudia, and she told me after she listened to the whole thing. She says, and she said, "This is the worst thing I ever listened to." And I was hurt because I thought we was killing it. Oh, trust me, I go back and listen to that shit, and I'm like, oh my god. And it wasn't that our lyrics weren't dope. It was just that we didn't know how to mix, master. The production was terrible. Even the second mixtape was okay, but then we got better. So I appreciate the feedback, even if it was harsh.
Yeah.
Truth hurts sometimes, man.
You gotta improve.
You can't really expect yourself to like enter in a craft like that and just kill it right off the bat.
Yeah, unless you're like generational talent outside of that. I mean, if you listen to the old, like the racist tapes of Eminem, I don't know if you ever listened to him.
Some of them.
He was like 13 years old, 14 years old. He was awful.
Really?
Awful as a rapper. Like super elementary rhyme schemes.
I believe it.
Like rhyming cat with hat type of shit.
Well, you listen to Dave Chappelle about stand up, and like, yeah, he started really young, and he had good sets when he was young, but he'll tell you just as much as anybody. It's part of growth. It's part of growth.
There's something about failure that helps build you into a better person.
I was gonna say the first time I went and saw you do stand up, you got way too drunk and
that was a terrible set. That was a terrible set.
But the second time I went and saw you,
you came after?
You did really good. Yeah.
What show was that?
That was at Mr. Blues.
What do you remember what kind? Oh, that was with like Tony and Eric came through with you. I remember that because that went really well.
Yeah, no, that time you did great. It was like night and day.
That's the funniest thing. Is there are people in my life who have seen my stand up and seen me bomb one night, and they're walking around right now like he's the shittiest comedian you will ever meet. And then there are people in my life who've only seen me kill it. And one of them saw me in one of the best shows I've ever had in my life, and they still to this day are like, I'm surprised you're not like on TV and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you haven't seen the bad ones.
Highest highs and lowest lows.
I got a standing ovation on my last tour. It was
the one in Texas?
No, this one was through South Dakota, Nebraska, and North Colorado.
You actually toured? I didn't
Twice.
know.
Yeah.
So like, how many shows were you doing?
The first one was 4 shows.
Okay.
And the second one was 3.
And what does that pay at that level?
I got
it doesn't.
I got $400 for the first tour, and I got $550 for the second tour.
Okay. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you are legit by definition a professional.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the standing ovation. So I think part of the reason I got that standing ovation was because I was really connecting with the crowd that night, and I was a host that night. So that's a crazier thing.
Oh,
you were the MC?
Yeah, as a host to get a standing ovation, like a host goes out there, he gets the energy up. As a host, you're not judged, like whether or not you do a good job isn't based on laughter as a host. It's based on how the crowd's energy is and how they receive the next comedian.
Okay.
That's how you're judged. If you get laughter, great. But when you're first hosting, a lot of comedians will tell you like your job is really here to fall on the grenade. Yeah. You eat that awkwardness up, you push past it, and you get the room energy up. True. And then you get the next comic on there. But I got a standing ovation, which was pretty nuts.
As the host?
As the host.
Okay.
But it was really just because I was lucky enough to witness one specific thing that happened with the crowd. And I think I was warming up for the host set. There was a circle stairwell kind of like you have here.
Okay.
And there was a place to kind of tuck around right there. And I'm sitting there just kind of getting warmed up. I'm like shadow boxing and doing jumping jacks, getting the blood pumping because you got to get your energy up. No, you can't be stale. And so I'm like, all right, show's about to start. I'm getting ready. And I start walking up the steps very quietly. And 2 people are walking up into the show themselves. And I watch them and they don't see me. And the husband trips on the second step and almost eats shit into the floor. He barely catches himself. He kind of bunked himself a little bit. His wife is laughing.
Dying laughing.
Dying laughing. He gets up. He goes, oh, God, I hope I didn't look like an idiot. And his wife goes, don't worry, no one saw. In the darkness, I'm smiling.
In the darkness.
In the darkness.
Wait
And-
till I get on stage.
yeah. And the first thing I do, I get on stage. I welcome everybody for coming. I
What
say,
up,
thank
Riley?
you. You know, oh yeah, there's Riley. I say hello to everybody. I do, the general introductions. Thank the place for having us. And then I look at this dude, and he's dressed pretty well. And what I think made this hit so well is I think he might have been a pillar in the local community. Is probably what it was. He was the richest dressed person there. So I think maybe he was like somewhat of an anchor in the local community. But I
Sure.
looked him in the eye and I said, sir, I saw you. And you look like a fucking idiot. And he started cracking up and everybody else started laughing. And I didn't really get why everybody else was laughing, but I think it's because, again, he was
They
a
knew
local.
who he was.
Yeah. And so I laid into him for the first 5 minutes in a very joking manner. And then I gave him some compliments. It's kind of a shit sandwich. And then I went into my set and I just had really good crowd work with they were right on my side from that moment on. And then
You want them early.
yeah. And then it was genuinely crowd work. It wasn't one of my jokes that got them to like love the set or anything. I had good jokes.
Crowd
and they
work.
went well.
Crowd work's important.
I was gonna
It
say,
is,
I was
but
gonna
it's
say,
temperamental and it's periodic.
like hecklers in particular can be your downfall or your greatest strength,
They
right?
give you, they give you ammo.
because you see clips, right?
Mhm.
And how people respond to hecklers. People like generally getting, whether they get too drunk or they're just pissed off or
Mhm.
whatever it is. How do you deal with those? And is
Yeah.
there one in particular that still stands out?
Yes, there is. So for starters, it was just I'm a very nice guy, as you know. I'm very non-confrontational,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So dealing, I mostly told stories. I did very little crowd work for the first years that I did stand up. So I really didn't handle them at all. My strategy for handling them was when they insulted me, I'd either just move on or I'd get quiet and I'd get in their face and I'd agree with them. And then they'd laugh and they'd get on my side and I'd keep telling the story. Like this one
Okay.
set, a guy said like, you have a little dick, genuinely, in response to one of my jokes. And I paused the set and I looked at him and I got this close to him. I was on a stage. I got off the stage and got right here and I went, you're damn right I do. And then I got back up. He started busting up laughing right away. I got back up on stage. I just owned it. But
That's a great way to
It-
handle it. You're taking it on. You're not giving him
Mhm.
another. He went the 8 Mile approach.
It
He
didn't,
pulls down his pants.
it didn't always work. It didn't always work.
How small is it now?
I have stripped on stage. I did a set where I talked about
I
what
didn't know you were a stripper.
I did
So
a set.
technically, you're a professional stripper.
Technically, yeah, I did get paid for that set that night too.
So-
I talked about my father being proud of me because at the time I was debating going into the Marines
Okay.
in high school, like sophomore
I
year.
don't remember that.
Whatever.
It was a
I was
phase.
yeah, it was a very short phase, but I was debating going through to the Marines and all that and joining the military. And like I go, my father was proud, and I'm slowly stripping throughout the whole set, and I have multiple layers of clothes on. So I take one shirt off, and there's another shirt underneath, and I had 3 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, and 2 pairs of underwear. This comes into play later. It's important. And by the end of the set, and I have little jokes in between. I'm just telling this story of the relation between me and my father throughout the years of me deciding that I didn't want to do the military and I wanted to do stand up instead. And by the end of the set, I'm in my underwear. They don't know I have 2 pairs on. And I go, and at the end of it all, my father one day finally accepted that I wanted to do stand up. And he came up to me and he said, Marshall, I'm very proud of you. At least you're not a stripper. And then I yanked the second pair of underwear off.
Oh my god.
And at first everybody's like, he's getting naked, but I have a second pair underneath. So it just shocked him real
Can you
quick.
imagine if you accidentally pulled down the
Yeah.
second bear
Bro,
underneath?
bro.
People love that set. I walked off stage. My mentor looked at me and he just said, stop doing gimmick shit, and kept walking. It was one of the best sets I had early on.
Really?
And, yeah.
Damn.
hmm
He needs
Brought
to
me
go.
right back
He needs
down.
to go on the cruise.
You do.
It's
You do
official.
need to go.
Yo,
crazy
we're
with
still in
Nico.
phase 1, so we
Oh,
need to
shit.
keep this
Move
show.
on to phase 2.
We didn't get your travel destination, but I guess we'll.
say we got to skip.
we
over
gotta
some
go-
stuff.
I could do it real quick. Any beach with bioluminescence in the water, that shit is dope. That's when you step on it and
I
it glows
know what
behind.
bioluminescence is.
Cocoa
Oh,
Beach,
okay.
allegedly.
Oh,
Yeah, and depending on
Allegedly,
when.
yeah.
I couldn't tell if you were looking at him like I don't know what that is, or if you were looking at him like I can't believe Marshall knows what that is.
No. I know what bioluminescence
That was the
is.
largest word I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Mm.
Anyways, we're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going.
I'm
Yeah, I'm gonna
Upside down bowling pin body bitch.
I'm gonna definitely quote. That's gonna be on there.
Mm.
We're gonna have that. We're gonna fucking have that.
We do.
What are you looking for?
The first part of phase 2.
Oh yeah. Well, you need it.
Yeah.
Chill zone with Chile.
The transition.
Dude, you guys got this really down to a T.
We're-
It's very
we're-
professional.
we're
very
doing
impressed.
We're trying. It'd be
Listen,
better if my mouse worked.
I got you.
things have just been steadily improving left and right here.
It's transition 5.
Transition 5.
Yeah,
right here.
transition 5.
You have now entered the chill zone. So we're back, man. We've done this before. Y'all know what it is. Basically, I just call out people. It could be anything. It could be a person, a place, a thing, a variety of different shit, right? So on this week's episode, we have Miami-Dade PD, bro. They got your boy. They did him wrong, bro. They did him wrong.
What up, TD?
So, if you didn't know, I don't know if you saw it, but
Tyreek getting arrested.
that's right. That's
Okay,
right. So
yeah.
on the way to the football stadium, he gets pulled over, and these fucking power thirsty fucking cops, bro. So don't get me wrong. So Tyreek could have done some things better, and he's admitted it. He could have complied right away. But dude, all he does is he hands him his ID and then rolls up the window. And there you go. Roll down your window. And roll down your window. They're like, all right, you're getting out. And then they fucking literally just throw his ass to the ground, bro. Handcuff him. He's like, yo. Like, dude, they fucking
It is
I don't-
legally-
are all Miami cops like that? Like,
I mean,
I obviously there's
it's
rules
ridiculous.
everywhere.
I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them. But
Sure.
You know,
I got like wrongfully stopped numerous times and treated unfairly.
They knew
Me too.
They knew who
And
he was.
I wasn't a dude.
It's
in
like
a
it's like
fucking
they're like,
Rari.
oh, he's a big shot, so we're gonna show that we're even more of a big shot, dude. And it wasn't just that; it was the fact that Calais Campbell, one of the nicest dudes ever, stopped as well.
He is like year after year he gets nominated for like
Walter Payton man of the year, like a super good guy,
Mhm.
and so he's just stopping, just trying to see what's going on. Like, get back in your car. Go. Actually, no, we're arresting you too.
Yeah.
That doesn't even give anyone a chance to do anything, and they arrest him, bro. It's freaking Scotty Scheffler getting arrested before the PGA Tour.
So
Type shit, bro. It's
here's
crazy.
The thing. Here's the thing. Was like I get that he gave the cop attitude, and
It's not illegal to be
that
rude.
you can be rude. He complied. He gave his credentials, and that's really all he is required to do. Is that all that other shit is just power trip ego?
Yeah.
He
Trying to-
could have handled it better.
it's not even
It could
illegal
be-
to not roll your window down.
No,
Many people have
sure.
like pre-typed a
Mhm.
lot of like lawyers have pre-typed messages
And
in their glove box, and when they get
and
pulled over, they
they
just
put
put
it to the
that
window.
up,
and
they put
Tyreek's
their-
reason for it made sense. He's like, I'm a celebrity. He's like, I don't want people to stop and start taking pictures and this and that. And obviously that's what happened when he was face down on the concrete. That's
Was that-
probably 120 degrees.
Yeah,
Like,
just pressing him on.
Crazy, bro.
Yo, put his knee in his back.
Crazy, bro. You know what the cop said?
Burning.
He's like, I'm playing against Tyreek this week in fantasy. Yeah, check him out. Crazy, dude. And he still went for
Was this-
buck
Buck
20.
50, yeah.
I read it was on the way to the game. Is that
It was
was,
literally
dude.
right outside
It
the
was.
stadium.
If they arrested him,
That's
if
fine.
they arrested him, taking him down to the station, he would have missed that game.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So
I,
Miami-Dade PD, you gotta chill out, bro. You gotta fire some of those motherfuckers.
I agree. Agreed.
Just
We're not,
crazy, bro.
We're not asking you
Power
to
trip.
defund.
Power
We're
trip.
not asking you to defund the police. We're
No,
just saying like there should be some punishment for that guy.
Yeah, everyone needs to be held.
Not just put him on not just give him a desk job.
Better
Yeah.
training,
Better training. Better,
Everything, man.
better
Yeah,
psychological
everything.
management,
It happens too often.
more time
far
off.
too often.
Those guys need a lot. You need a lot of time off working that type of job, in my opinion. It's a lot of stress.
Don't we all?
Yeah, no, I need some more time off.
Well-
Already, I only been back for a week.
Listen, anybody who's carrying a gun around everybody else, I don't mind if the government pays for them to have extra time off so that they're more responsible with that gun
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the power that they have behind that badge. So
Yeah.
Point is that like they were
some things need
they
to
were, they were
change.
power tripping, bro.
We're looking at you, Miami.
Yes, Miami. Yeah, that's my.
As I missed the
Um,
camera.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
He's like,
I looked at the TV. I went, "We're looking at you, Miami."
Miami's right there.
Hmm?
Right there. That's
Ah.
Miami. There we go. Anyways, your best joke. 5,
Say it
4,
now.
3, 2, 1. Best joke. You've had this in front of you for.
I have. I
Yeah.
didn't read that till a second ago. Have you
What's
heard
your
about
best
Mormons? Well, okay. Let me ask you this real quick. What type of joke are we talking about? Because I
The
have a
ones
lot
that
of-
make you laugh.
Are we talking dark? Or are we talking
Whatever.
cheesy street
What's the
joke?
best one?
Um,
If you had to make someone laugh,
Gun to your head.
gun to your head,
gun to my head.
what joke's making it happen?
What joke is making it happen
Let's
with
hear
a
it.
gun to my head?
Yeah. And if we
Fuck.
don't laugh, we're gonna shoot you.
Okay.
You're just trying to get us
What?
banned.
Whoa.
You just threatened this man.
He clearly doesn't like TikTok. I've noticed in my dating experience that women will lie to you when they like you. You know, it's when they don't like you that they'll tell you the truth. All right, stick with me here. Say you're at the club, you're dancing with a lady, you know, she's feeling you. You're giving her your best dance moves, right? She looks at you and she says, "Hey, those dance moves? Those are sexy." That's a lie. That's obviously a lie, right? Right?
Sure.
Definitely. Definitely. It's when they don't like you that they'll tell you the truth. Something, I don't know, just to randomly pull it out of the air. I don't know. Something like, you got a little dick. Yeah, maybe. But you sucked it. So who won that one? This guy.
I like it.
There we
If
go.
gun to my
I've heard-
head,
I've
I
heard
feel
that
like
one.
I feel like a
That's
guy with a gun would make that joke.
You said God would go with that. That was good. I did know this.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you wanted to give us a second one, what would be?
A second joke
Yeah,
to
yeah.
save my life?
Yeah, you can go dark if you have to,
Okay.
as long as it's not cancelable material.
Mm.
All right, never mind.
Okay.
Everything
No,
is-
no, no. Oh well, you know what? I would do this one because I'd have two chances. I would either make him laugh or he'd feel a little sad for me and then let me go. And it goes, my mom's an alcoholic,
Okay.
and before you feel bad, it had its pros and its cons.
All right.
The con, you know, the pro being, you know, whenever she grounded me throughout my childhood, she never remembered grounding me during my childhood. It was awesome. Yeah. Of course, the con being she never remembered my childhood, but that's life, right? It's a give and a take. Now, I found on stage, if I don't say that with a smile, it does not land. I have to say it with a smile. The audience needs to feel that I'm still okay.
When you started crying the first
Ri-
time. it's-
Riley Mills gave you a -2. I don't know which joke he gave you a -2 on.
Which one was a -2 for?
Riley, we're waiting on you.
You know, it's also not entirely fair because jokes like that fit better on stage. It is a different energy in the
Sure.
shows, and you can admit that being there.
Absolutely.
So street jokes tend to do better in these situations.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I might do something like growing up, I grew up with this saying that the key to staying young is learning something new every day. And I thought about that, and if that's the case, then Alzheimer's is the fountain of youth.
Oh my God, that is
It's
that is dark.
It's a little dark.
So-
That was the first golden joke I ever came up with.
Yeah. I remember that.
Keep it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep it going.
I'm gonna keep it going.
Bucket list. What's on your bucket list? It could be going to a place. It could be trying a type of. He gave you +1 for that last joke.
Thanks. Thanks, Riley.
Thank you, Riley.
Yeah.
Riley
Oh,
determines your
oh.
career.
Riley.
Auto parts.
There we go. I know it's just Riley. I just threw the O there. You know? But thank you. Yeah, bucket list. It could be. It could be eating something. It could be traveling somewhere.
What do you want to do before you croak?
Yeah, come on.
I
Or you kick the
definitely
bucket.
okay.
And you're gonna croak soon.
This is a little bit ridiculous because I would have to learn how to drift first, but I would love, and this sounds so douchey, But genuinely, bucket list. I would love to go to Japan and drift on the mountain.
Dude,
drifting
holy
like
shit!
shit.
But
Everyone said that's the third
I
time.
think it might be the fourth.
It's the third time at least when we've been here, bro. If not the fourth.
Or did I
That-
watch the last episodes and I was like, I'm gonna do that again? No, I didn't.
That'd be douche.
I don't watch this. No,
No.
I'm kidding. I do. It's a good show.
Japan, bro. It's,
Everyone.
Japan
we
would
gotta
be a
go to
good one.
Japan.
Japan is great, bro. I mean, like they're very racist, but Japan is great.
Are they?
Yeah, extremely.
maybe it's here.
Towards who?
Yeah, you heard me. Your people.
They're all right with me.
Okay. Anyways, I will tell you the Japanese are like giving out like visas. They're called breeding visas.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like paying people to go there.
because people aren't having babies anymore.
Damn.
Like,
All those kids.
people just fucking. There's first off, high suicide rate.
Mhm.
Motherfuckers just be literally on a computer all day, either making content, playing video games. Like they don't have as much social life anymore. They don't get no bitches.
Hmm.
Excuse me, I'm not calling women bitches. I just don't know their names, so I just a way to generalize all of them.
It's a saying of speech. It's a what is
figure
it?
of speech.
Figure of speech. Thank you. God,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
bad.
Um,
I'm having a stroke.
so yeah, they're basic, and they're setting you up like
Mm.
living like for cheap, like assisted living.
Are they really racist towards?
Nah, they're not. I'm just fucking. with you.
I've heard they're more racist towards like other Asians than anything else.
Probably.
I believe it.
Genuinely.
I believe
Probably.
it.
They treat the black people like athletes.
I've heard that, actually.
They just think everyone's Kobe Bryant. Like,
Yeah. You get special
if
treatment.
you're tall, for sure. Oh, he must play sports.
I have a less hot take on destination places I want to go before I die.
Okay.
Is Ireland and Scotland to go visit the breweries of whiskey and scotch. Like
Nice.
multiple of them. I mean, they're beautiful countries, and the food's
You said breweries,
Okay.
so you mean distilleries? I think that's the
yeah,
correct term.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay, I
distillery.
didn't know. Like maybe I was wrong, but
I think you're right. I
yeah,
think you're right.
Distillery. Yeah.
Distillery.
You're Irish and Scottish, right?
Yeah.
I want to see the motherland.
Yeah.
I want to go to Dublin.
The one I love. I'm German as
I wanna
well.
go to
I'm okay on that.
Dublin, Ireland.
It would be cool to go visit Hamburger, Germany. That's where hamburgers were invented. I heard they taste like shit,
Hamburger.
but hamburger.
First off, German food is amazing.
German
You-
food is
you-
amazing.
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh, I love me a
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Oktoberfest. We do have to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, fair enough.
Let's go to the place in Manitou. Let's go celebrate up there.
Oh, I mean, true Oktoberfest out in Germany.
Oh yeah, I would too. But for this year, we're not gonna
Step by
go
step.
there.
Fair enough.
So
I'll
let's go to
the one
Manitou.
downtown.
Let's go to the German place in Manitou.
What about you guys? Have you guys been asking people these questions? Where do you want to travel before you die?
The reason why we haven't really been talking about ours is because we're on the show every episode.
Yeah.
Listen,
So,
you're interviewing all these people, but let me ask you, who's interviewing you?
You could have came with questions.
yeah, but you didn't.
We skipped past one of your.
What's your least favorite way to die? Go. Most afraid. Definitely like
Drowning.
Drowning. All
I
right.
think.
How'd you
I
lose
have-
your
I have the-
virginity?
I have the. Oh, I thought I was answering that same question.
No, I got a different one. It's a
Uh,
little more complicated.
So how did I lose my virginity?
Mhm.
I was 20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
Oh,
did you
shit.
say how or did you say have?
How? When? Tell me the story of the first time you lost your
I met-
virginity.
I'm-
His questions.
I
What's
was,
your
I
favorite?
was working. I met a girl. So my dad had a band. He still has a band, and I was like, I just helped. I was like a roadie. I helped him
Mhm.
set up, break down, and I'm just waiting for his set to end. And there's a girl over. It's right on the beach, so we're right on the boardwalk. I see her. She sees me. I like her.
On the boardwalk.
I think she's good. She's good looking.
Mm-hmm.
I get her phone number.
What'd you say to her? Do you remember? Were you smooth? Were you smooth?
I mean,
or do you think she liked you more than you were smooth? You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm pretty fucking smooth. I would say Greg helped facilitate it though. I
Mm.
was in my early stages.
Shout
So,
out Greg, my
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
stop.
yeah. I would say I was smooth, but I think Greg bummed a cigarette from her friend, and that's
To
how
start the conversation.
And then I slid in.
Classic.
But anyways, I met her.
Was it good? Did she have a good time?
I did, but we'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Let him finish.
You wanted the story. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you the
let him
story.
finish.
That's very rude of me.
You ever
Sorry.
finish, Marshall?
He doesn't know about that. You don't know nothing about
About
that. I just play. Yeah. So I get her number. She lives on the other side of the state, and I didn't get to see her before she left.
Hmm.
And then she finally gets back to her house, and she was like, "I want to see you again." I'm like, I'm young, dumb, and full of cum. I'm like, I'll come get you. It's like a 2.5-hour drive. So she just got to her house, and I'm like, fuck it. I just went and I picked her up and took her back to the house. And
Why
yeah.
didn't she just do it there? You took her. You went too.
No, I just
Just
went to
4-hour drive.
No, she stayed at my house for like a week.
Yeah, but you went 2 hours to go pick her up.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours back. That's 4.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot.
2.5. So
5.
5.
That's 5. Fuck.
Yeah.
Bro, we drove 12 hours to Phoenix for what?
To do cocaine with an old friend of ours. No.
He's not confirming nor denying that statement.
Nope.
No, we went to go meet an old friend of ours.
Yeah. See, Riley knows. Let him cook. Let me cook. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, and then the very next day I hit it
Mhm.
after I brought her back to the house. That's Holly. Shout out to Holly. She's somewhere in like Oklahoma.
Do you think we should do like disclaimers before episodes I'm on? Like Marshall Baker is a trained comedian. 90% of what he says is bullshit.
We probably should put that in the
Probably,
description.
yeah.
That would be a good thing to do.
We'll put it in the
Yeah.
description.
This is
Yeah.
all props.
You should make it look like one of
Just
those old
hit holy
90s
Cliff.
action show like disclaimers. Like these
So-
are trained professionals. Do not try
So-
these stunts at home.
So since I basically told a dating story, my very first,
Wait, I'm sorry. This is so rude. You got back to the crib and
we didn't have sex that night. We had sex the following night.
okay.
Yeah,
And
it was great.
It was a nice time. It was a
It was
memorable
great. It
moment.
was everything I thought sex was supposed to be, and more.
Well, that sounds
I
nice.
had a great first sexual experience. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Did
It
you?
wasn't like I didn't like.
yeah, I'd say so.
I had a terrible first sexual.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
you
was awful.
wasn't that with the emo chick?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Don't let me tell you about the first time I got head. Oh my god, I was like, if this is what head's like, I don't want it. It's just straight teeth, bro.
Ooh.
Straight teeth.
That's an ill move.
I'm like, what? Oh, and that girl was acting. So I didn't get my first kiss till I was 19. That was the same girl who
Damn.
kissed me the first time, and I was like, yo, this is what
She
made
kiss you with the teeth too.
she ate my face, bro.
Where'd you grow up?
Miami.
That's really odd. You think you'd be kissing sooner than that? And
No,
that-
I was fat. I was 270 pounds. Didn't have confidence.
Oh.
And then I lost.
Well, you look great, and you're very confident and smooth now.
I know. It helped
It's the
me
come up.
It helped make I have the ugly
Years
duckling
of
syndrome.
Nathan and Greg bullying him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It caused you to develop a true
Pressure
personality.
makes diamonds.
Definitely. I was, and then I also have 3 older brothers too. So
Oh damn!
I just getting roasted left and
Yeah.
right. Oh, my youngest of my older brothers, all he was make fat jokes. Like I'm immune to fat jokes.
Yeah,
You could have called me a skinny. I'm not gonna say it now.
skinny fat body bitch.
Trevor, why you trolling TD, bro?
TD soft as hell.
Yeah, bro. Why you
You wouldn't say that to his face though.
Yo, TD will beat your ass, bro.
That's the problem with the internet these days. It gives people the confidence to say shit they would never say
Yeah.
to somebody on the street.
Absolutely.
But
It just makes people feel more entitled and more full of
So
themselves
we
than they should be.
we have a segment called Tinder Tendencies.
Mm,
I already gave a dating story.
I got a couple. I
Gi-
mean,
just
they're all bad.
give me one. Either it could be an amazing date, it could be a cringy date, it could be embarrassing, it could be funny. What you got?
I got one that started cringy, is funny, and it ended a little sweet.
Okay, let's have it.
Just kidding, it ended terribly. All right, let's get into it.
Fuck you, Shane. Nah.
I was working at the mall. I was working at the mall at this time, and
I worked at the mall one time.
Chapel Hill Mall.
No. Dolphin Mall, Miami.
Oh, fair enough.
Go
Yeah, that
ahead.
makes more sense. With you growing up in Miami.
Go ahead.
Well, there was this girl who worked at J.C. Penney or something. And she would always get coffee at the panini joint I worked at.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I brought her a free coffee after work and just asked for her number. I got it. Started texting her. She asked me out on a date. She was 24. I was 20.
Yep.
So she wanted to go to a bar, and I was like, you know what? I'm only 20.
The apartment days.
The apartment days. And she goes, oh, that's okay. Keep in mind, I had never been out on the night scene whatsoever, not even like a little glimpse. So she goes, that's okay. We'll go to this great bar that I know. It's called Club Q. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. They were like, she was like, it lets 18 and up in. And she comes, she gets to the apartment. First of all, she says, I'm out front. I get in the car to find out that I opened the shotgun door to find out that she brought her friend with her and I have to sit in the back. And so I sit in the back and we're going to Club Q and I Google the bar and I see a little martini glass and I'm like, oh, cool.
Tread lightly.
It's a martini
Yeah,
bar.
for real.
I got you. It's a martini bar. Like, this is going to be a real classy joint. This is going to be a fun time, an interesting first experience for me.
No.
And we get there and I find out what it actually is. And this is, again, my first time out in any nightclub, really, out on the town. This is my first experience. And I'm a little uncomfortable because that's not my scene. That's all. It's not my scene.
Sure.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, what's okay. I don't want to lead anybody on. I had this long, beautiful hair at the time.
Super
longer
long.
than this. Yeah.
Man bun type shit.
Yeah. Her and her friends start having drinks. They're talking. She is barely talking to me. I'm talking to her friend more than she is talking to me, which I found really odd because she's 4 fucking years older than me. You'd think she'd be mature enough to talk to her date. Not so much. Eventually, her friend just starts slipping me shots, and so I start getting a little more tipsy. And I go into the bathroom. I start peeing in the urinal, and a dude comes up into the urinal next to mine. He starts peeing. He looks over and he goes, oh, you have beautiful hair. I went, oh, thank you. People have been saying that all night. It's starting to get to my head. This dude then takes his hand off of what he's doing and brushes my hair.
Oh my God.
No.
I immediately lurch back and I go, what are you doing? And he goes, dude, don't. He literally said this. I kid you not. He said, dude, don't be homophobic. I said, homophobic my ass. It doesn't matter if I'm gay or not.
Oh no.
That's unsanitary. That's gross. We're both peeing. You just took your hands off your dick to brush my hair. And then I started just saying this to him. I said, what's my name? What's my name? Because if you can't even tell me my name, you have no business taking your hand off your dick and brushing my hair.
And what if he told you your
I would have been terrified. I would have ran right out of there. It's so scary.
Marshall
I would
Baker.
have been like, oh, this dude's been planning it. And I would have ran.
Planning.
So
Look
what
what I'm playing.
I decided in that moment, I was like, I got to set the record straight. So I walked out back onto that dance floor. I walked up to my date. I grabbed her. I swung her to the side and I planted a kiss on her, waiting a bit, making sure that everybody in the place saw it.
Everyone's like, "Aw."
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know.
Wait,
I like to
is
think
that the
so.
same chick? The
Satanist
The
chick.
Satan.
Yeah. All right. It gets worse from there. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
we
we
weren't
were
done?
getting to that. No.
A
It
man
gets
with
worse
his
from
dick
there.
hands brushed your hair.
Yeah.
and that's not the worst part.
That's not the worst part.
Oh, someone touched his butthole.
Is at the very end of all of this, what Chris already brought up is, me kissing her kind of loosened her up. We start talking finally. We're dancing, and I noticed a tattoo on her clavicle here, and I'm like, hey, what's that tattoo?
You know this story?
He does. Yeah,
Okay.
he's already stated it, really. I say, hey, what's this tattoo? I think it's some Nordic thing or maybe Mayan or something. It's kind of the design I thought. And she says, oh, it's a Satanist tattoo. I used to be a Satanist. And I was like, oh, wow, used to be. What changed your mind? And she was like, well, nothing really. I would say I still am a Satanist. I just don't go to the church as much. And I was like, oh, so, this has already all been a terrible experience. But by the end of it, I find out that me and this woman share vastly different core values. and she's a Satanist, which is kind of the
Wait,
opposite.
so did you bring her over for tacos before or after that?
After that?
Oh my god!
After that.
Yeah,
After that.
one of
The worst part about all of that is I didn't realize that was a bad date till like 2 years ago.
Oh god, yo! So that was when we first started hanging out with Nico. Nico would come to the apartment. So Nico came over, and we go to my room just to dab or whatever, and we're like kind of eavesdropping. It was a small enough apartment that we could hear what's going on, and it sounded like the most awkward shit. Like Marshall made again, and I had some of those tacos. They were great.
They were great
And
tacos. I
she's
made a
like-
great
she's
attempt
like,
at
I don't like these
conversation.
tacos. They're too spicy. And then,
She's-
yo,
Just an FYI, like a Latina girl from California grew up with tacos her whole life. Like
Okay.
I asked her what she would like to eat that night, and she said, "Well, I grew up with tacos my whole life, so that would be great." And I said, "Okay, tacos." I couldn't handle spice at all at that time.
yo,
She didn't eat the full taco. She took a fork and scooped the meat out, took one bite, said, "I didn't like it." That turned me off of her right then and there. I was like, I don't want to hang out with this person very much.
and yo, what? I don't mean to bring this up, but I kind of do. Didn't you ask her something like?
It was not a good move. I tried to get her to come back to my room.
Yeah.
I said, this was my line.
And then I gotta tell you, I gotta chime in from the chat after that.
Okay.
Go ahead. Someone's
This
trying to
was
get your
my-
attention.
This was my line. Was hey, want to go to my room and suck my dick?
No, you didn't.
Something like that, bro.
Yeah, because
I
at
don't-
this point, she like everything about her. Like I didn't like. I was like, I don't want to hang out with her. I was like, let's see if she wants. If maybe like, what does she see in me? She
She's
clearly
really
can
like
see
that.
that we don't get
She,
along.
she really.
See if
she
she
really-
just yeah, if she just wanted to hook up and that's why we were hanging out, and she did not. She said no. She said, "Why are you being weird?" And then at the end of the night, I walked her to the door, and she was like, "Next time, don't be so weird." And I went, close the door, and there was never a next time.
So just like being upfront is cool and all.
That was a really bad line. Yeah.
You just should have just like and just invited her to the room to chill.
No, at that point the problem was I was like, she had pissed me off so much, and like we clearly didn't get along on a core fundamental basis, to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If it sticks, great. If not, she'll leave. Like either way, win-win was my thought. I was a young guy who
Oh,
was just
God,
trying
bro.
to. It was year 2 at that time, or no, it was year 4.
No, it
3 or
was like
4.
3.
Time out. Crystal said, "Is Marshall still eating the dogs?"
Yeah,
And then
The cats, the dogs,
And the pets. and then
the
Trevor
silver
says
spoons.
Marshall let him get violated.
Oh, that's a good story in itself.
what?
Shouldn't
You know what you did.
you let?
When-
Oh, I let
when
Trevor.
You let Trevor
I thought
get-
Trevor was saying I let myself get
No,
violated.
you let
I was
Trevor
that's
get
not a
violated.
violation.
by
Yeah, I let Trevor get violated.
So they were at
Not Mrs. What?
you guys were at Good Comp, weren't you?
We were a good company. Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Bales?
Yeah, we were a good company. and
David Bales.
a woman was eyeing Trevor, and then she invited us back to his place or her place. That'd be funny. She was not a he. I know that for a fact because after she had her fun with Trevor,
yo, they tell me
she walked out butt
Yo,
naked into the rest of the
No,
apartment.
Mar-
Just strolled. She said, "Hey, what's up?"
Marshall
Butt ass
goes,
naked.
Marshall goes, I looked into the room and I see Trevor butt naked all sprawled out. And she goes back in and closes the door.
See, here's the thing. Trevor can say he got violated that way all the time.
He wanted it.
Name a time when Trevor wasn't like that and got laid.
Was she like a box troll? Like, was she not good looking?
Maybe
No,
not
she's
a
fine.
box troll.
She's fine.
Oh,
She's
don't
like a
forget
6
that
or a
time
7.
you tried to sneak in that box troll in the basement,
Yeah.
and you were over there too.
I have a story about that box troll.
Let's hear it.
it
let's
was-
hear
it was
We're-
our
we're going. It's all good. Let's hear it.
We're cooking.
It was
hear
our
it.
3rd date, right?
If I was drunk, this would be like so much more lit.
Yes, Bales. We know that there's fights going on.
It was our
We'll tune in.
it was
shortly.
our 3rd date, and we're talking. I'm trying to be smooth and all that or whatnot, and I get a phone call, and I look at it. I hang up the phone, And she goes, "Oh, you can get that." And I went, "No, I don't like to be on phones during dates, because a lot of people in my generation do." And I picked up the phone, showed her it, powered it off. It was like power move.
Power
bitch.
move for sure.
Yeah. And then she went, and then proceeded to pick up her phone and text and not say a word to me for the next
What
10
up,
minutes.
Crystal?
So,
Wow.
So that really was a
You
shot
remember
to
that
the
one
dick.
time we had to have been in like sophomore year of high school, and one way or another, I invite these girls, and granted, maybe an ill move on my part to invite these girls, but we're hanging out, and we're at Trevor's parents' crib right by this Albertsons, and we meet up with these two girls.
Oh, it's that one you were talking about.
Yeah, catfish nonetheless. But all of a sudden, I'm trying to spark up conversation with them, and I hear Trevor and Marshall whispering to one another. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I won't go into exactly what Trevor said, but Trevor, out of nowhere, out of pocket, says some fucked up shit to these girls, just completely outlandish. Now stunned, like like some of the most like out of pocket shit.
What up,
and
Ryan?
They just start giggling. Marshall and Trevor just start giggling, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on?" And like, keep in mind, it was
super
bad.
out of pocket. It was
Like,
really bad.
The lightest thing was like out, said nothing the whole time, and then he's like,
he wasn't even near them.
"I love your titties so much, I want to suck on them." Out of nowhere, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What do you?" And they're just giggling, and then these bitches just get up and run away, leave me with the whole situation on my own, and I don't know how to react, bro. I'm so stunned that the foulness that came out of Trevor's mouth to these girls, and then these fuckers just get up and run away like little bitches, and I'm just stuck there in the most awkward situation of my life, trying to recover. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. They're usually not like that.
He was in crisscross applesauce. There's no way you're getting out of that quickly. He had to, even if he wanted to get away, he still would have had to sit there in that awkwardness.
It's fucked me. Imagine you invite some girls over, and then I just say the most outlandish shit, get up and dip, and then you just have to deal with it.
Yo, I got a story. Because I had to deal with some shit.
Let's hear it.
Can I go use the restroom real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah. You got to be here for this story. So we'll talk to the chat in the meantime.
Oh, okay. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Do not step on that cable right there. I'm going to move out your way. That cable.
Don't do it.
The gray one there?
The gray one. Don't you do it.
That's still
Yo, hashtag Trevor didn't want to do it. That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
Yo,
Trevor's his own.
Everyone who's in the chat right now, I just want to say thank you. You guys are great. This is our first podcast back since vacation. Give you a little rundown. Me and Chili over here were in Florida for a couple days, and I was in Florida for like an eternity, and then I went on a cruise, and now I'm sick as fuck. But I'm still here with you today. So I appreciate you. If you have any questions for us, feel free. Yo, for real though. Ryan, Crystal, Trevor, Bales, TD, Riley, if you still in here. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
We're gonna blow up. We're gonna blow up, and we're gonna remember y'all. I promise you.
Maybe not Trevor.
Everyone but Trevor is getting remembered. I promise you that. Remembered. Nah, I can never forget Trevor. But
you couldn't if you wanted to.
Cocoa Beach was dope. We did it, but the one thing that we didn't do on that podcast, we hadn't gone to SeaWorld. So how was SeaWorld, bro?
Oh, dude. Fantastic. It's like going to the zoo and
best roller coaster.
Yeah, the roller coasters were slapping. You're gonna have to hop on over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, big fan of SeaWorld. Gotta see the penguins. I was thinking about touching one of the penguins, not in like a weird way or anything, but just like feeling. Oh yeah, I love penguins. And I look over and I see this dude, and he's just staring at me. And I'm like, all right, maybe I won't touch the penguin.
What did Chris do the weekend of the wedding? We're not going to talk about that.
I didn't fucking do this. I'm
not
worrying about it.
We can.
I didn't do shit.
We can share.
Absolutely nothing.
I was going to tell a funny story. An embarrassing situation. Well, I wasn't really embarrassing, but anyways, I used to go out with Corey. Corey's a good-looking man. Girls like him.
Shout out Corey.
Girls like him.
Judas himself.
Yeah. And this one girl, I'm not gonna say her name because we're still friends, but she really liked Corey. So we're done drinking at Holy Cow. We're heading back to, or we're at Rhinos. We're heading back to my house. My house was the bachelor pad.
Yeah.
He was kind of feeling her, but like not really, because she just wasn't like what he likes. He likes real petite women, and she wasn't petite. But
she was a big bitch.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't.
Okay,
She's
all
right. She's all right. Well, Corey lived in the same
ping pong body. Okay, sorry.
Stop,
keep
bro.
Going, keep going. We're good.
Upside down pear body bitch.
No,
Sorry.
So Corey lived in the same neighborhood as me. He tells her, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to my house. I'm gonna grab my contact like solution and like so he can put his contacts in." Motherfucker never comes back. Says, "Oh, I fell asleep." Check this out. Same situation a week later. We do the same thing. He's drunk. We get back to the house. She's with us. And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to go get my contact solution. I promise I won't fall asleep this time." She says, "Oh, I brought some." I brought some. And he's like, "Oh, okay, great." Corey had no interest in doing it. So me and Shorty are talking. I hear my sliding glass door open. I'm like, "Wait, hold on. Why is he going to the backyard?" I go to the backyard and I see this man jump over my fence.
Oh my god!
She fucking runs out the front door. He hopped in his Jeep and took off. And she's like, Corey, where are you going? Yo. And I had to deal with her crying on my couch for like 2 hours. And then I took her home.
I at least got a dip out of the situation they left me to die in.
No.
That's fucking.
No.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was awful. Oh.
What did she think was going to change at that point? So,
She thought
running after Corey and yelling at him would definitely make him come back. Wait, this guy doesn't like me? Let me chase after him harder and scream at him.
The fact that because I had locks on my my fences, my gates because of reasons, and we're not gonna get
Crime.
the fact that I saw him jump the fence was just.
Dude, I've had to jump a fence before, man. I know exactly how he feels.
That's a good story.
I literally poked my head out to the side and I see his feet going over.
Do you like the police form where you like hit it on your hips and you swing your feet around?
No.
That would really be
pushed over.
swung it over.
But man, and she wasn't like bad looking.
Yeah.
Was she annoying?
No, she was cool. She's a nice person.
Was Corey very picky?
Yes, he's like thin, petite women, or used to. You know, he's your typical college fuck boy. You know, he was in great shape at the time. But shout out to Corey, great story. Love you, kid.
Story.
Let's keep. I'm gonna keep it going.
I'm gonna keep it going.
Chris never told a bad date story.
Save it for another one. Save it for another one. We got to keep it. We got to keep it going.
I know he's got plenty.
I got a couple.
Do you want to? We could skip your cringiest moment on stage if we let.
Oh, that's an entertaining one, though. Well,
we're skipping. Take a shot, make a shot because I'm not drinking.
Yeah,
and so no trivia today. We could skip this or this.
All right, I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one. So there was a time when we were at Bonfoy, and I don't know if you remember this, but it was a Tinder tendency one, if you will, because I met this chick on Tinder. And so keep in mind,
tendencies.
This was the time that I had just turned 21, and she was 20 or 19. I don't remember exactly. But keep in mind, so God, we're talking, and more or less. So we lived North Union, Uinta, so downtown, more or less.
I know that
area.
I know.
And so right by the Olympic Training Center. Okay. And so this girl said her and her friend, you know, they wanted to drink some, and you know, keep in mind we're 20, we're drinking too. Like they're over 18. I must emphasize that 100%. They were absolutely legal, and so they wanted to drink some. I was like, okay, word. And so I was like, all right, I'll pick them up. we'll go back to the crib with everyone. You know, we'll have some drinks. And so I picked them up, bro. And they want to stop at the gas station just to get, you know, soda, chasers, whatever it was. So we're on the way there, and I noticed that there's a car behind us, and I was like, you guys don't know who that car following us, or they seem to be following us, is? And they're like, oh, that's the Olympic Training Center security. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, bad vibes instantly. They're like, don't worry. All right, just stay out here. We're gonna go in, get some drinks, and then we'll figure it out. And so, you know, I remember the 7-Eleven. I thought about this the other day when I passed by that 7-Eleven. So I stop at the 7-Eleven, and they go in, and like I see, like, again, out of the rearview mirror, like the car stopped in the back, and I was like, yo, I don't like this. So I just bounced, bro. I just took off and I dipped. I left them at the 7-Eleven, and I have no clue what happened. I remember messaging. I was just like, yo, that was way too sus. Delete. Never heard from again. We celebrated with the booze, and that was that. So I just left them at the 7-Eleven.
That was more bad to them. We're talking about stories where it was a bad date experience for you.
I didn't have a good time. That was stressful.
Yeah, but you left. I think overall you won that situation.
Yeah.
I would say.
Probably.
We're talking about bad date stories where you lost the situation. Me going to a gay club and having a dude brush dick hands through my hair. That's it.
That's an L. That's an L.
That's an L.
Well, this was. I mean, this was. I didn't.
But that is still a good story.
I didn't want
I didn't do shit.
And you fucking shit.
Let's keep it going.
All right,
keep going.
Watch. Yo, this is the watch. This is where I give you hot takes, major gossip, rumors in sports, entertainment, music, whatever. Today, it was going to be about Tyreek Hill getting arrested. He already handled that with the chill zone. But we're going to talk about my boy Tua. Sad day for Miami. We had high hopes for him. He suffered his fourth concussion in 2 years, something like that.
Third, but two were literally back to back.
Yeah. And then, no, he had 3 in 2022, so fourth.
Did he?
Yes, the first one against the Bills where he stumbles. Then he gets rocked by Bengals on Thursday Night Football, and then the Packers. Then he did. And then now he just did it. The Bills did it to him again.
Were they all that bad? Because I saw the latest one. He had the little stiff.
It's called the fencing position, or fencing response, where your body goes straight and your fingers like. So that's the second time that version of a concussion has happened to him. This one was not nearly as bad as that one that happened in Cincinnati.
Really wasn't even that bad of a hit.
No, it wasn't. And he initiated the contact.
He did.
He lowered his shoulder. He was trying. Yeah, he was trying to like truck the man.
He was
but he weighs 190 pounds trying to truck somebody. But anyways, very sad. If I had to say, logically, what makes sense is he secured the bag. He's owed $93 million regardless. If he retires
60
today,
million guaranteed.
No. 93 is his guarantee. 167 is his true guarantee. But unless he gets medically,
discharged,
unless he has to be medically retired, he won't get the 167 guaranteed. He'll get 93. Which, I mean, he's already made like what $60 million already
after taxes.
So,
what, 40 million?
Yeah. It's more than that. There's no state tax in Florida.
Facts.
So,
shout out Florida.
Yeah. Logically, he should, but
fuck you, Jared Polis.
Oh, god damn, bro.
Fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that one.
Oh, bro.
That one, I don't even think you know why that. What you said was so bad. Continue.
Why was what I said so bad? Please explain. Please explain.
We're gonna continue. No, stop.
I know. Continue.
Damn, I can't bring these children nowhere.
Just factual. Sorry, continue.
I think logically he should hang it up. That's what makes sense. But fuck it. I think he's gonna try again. He's gonna try again. Football, he's worked his whole life for this.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
he loves the game.
tough.
He loves the game.
It's kind of crazy to talk shit about a dude in the sense of like, well, he was only 190 trying to hit some. I mean, yeah, the NFL dudes are huge, but 190 is like still pretty hefty.
Nah,
in the
not
It's
enough.
decently
Not
hefty.
in the
Nah,
NFL.
not even close.
Not in the NFL, not whatsoever. But in general
he's
life,
6 foot
Tua
190.
is a beast. In general life,
Yeah,
compared to
I
normal
wouldn't want to
people,
get trucked by him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't-
he'd be knocking
Didn't
9
he
out of
put
10.
on weight too?
He did put on weight and then he dropped 15 pounds.
Yeah.
He dropped.
Oh.
He's real lean. He saw his his peers and how mobile they are. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna try to be a more mobile quarterback.
Was it? He was bigger last year, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. He was
Because he looks
and he
pretty
got
skinny.
and he got made fun of for it too. 'Cause
Mhm.
he put on some weight.
Tyreek said that he took that Ozempic.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Yeah, but that's all I got for the watch. Prayers to him and his family.
Yeah, I just hope I hope he makes the right decision for himself.
he's gonna make
because
the.
if he plays long enough, it's gonna happen again.
Oh, I mean, statistically speaking, it's bound to happen again. It's a violent sport.
Well, and the more
Um,
concussions you get, the more
But,
susceptible.
but I do think this isn't the last one, but one more will be be the last for him.
I just hope that the one more doesn't do him in, bro.
Yeah. I don't think death's on the table. I think he's more.
Yeah,
I mean, how many people have died on the football field?
one
Couple.
One.
couple. I think there are more in
It's
history.
more than one.
But
Definitely.
it's not even that, bro. It's not. That doesn't mean that you die right then and there. It's what happens.
Yeah, the
later on in
CTE,
life,
the
you
CTE.
know?
Yeah, I know. I got you. I
So,
got you.
I don't know, dude. I like Tua. I like Tua. I think he's a humble dude. I think he's a good football player as well.
If
that's
he was
tough, though.
if he was drafted where Jordan Love was drafted, we'd be talking about him completely different. But he was drafted ahead of Justin Herbert, and that's just the problem.
He's
But-
left-handed too.
And-
That's
yeah.
part of it. And he's injury prone since college.
A study
So,
found that on average there are 4 direct fatalities and 8.2 indirect fatalities among high school and college players per year.
I'm talking about the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that would only. Well, I don't know if that would increase. The
No,
equipment gets
the
better.
equipment, the staff. There's people like DeMar Hamlin. He dies if he doesn't
but
get
that's
that any other situation.
Mm.
Yeah, he dies
Mm.
on the field. And he didn't even get hit that hard. He just got hit at the exact
That's crazy.
right moment to stop the heart.
It's
You know
crazy that DeMar Hamlin was on the other side of that.
Yeah, of hitting
That-
Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That moment is kind of proof that the 5-point finger punch of death from Kill Bill is possible. That if you just hit somebody in the right point
At the right time.
at the right time, you set things up right.
It's crazy.
5 steps and they're gone.
Cringiest or most embarrassing moment on stage? Go.
It's always going to be bombing. Is the answer to that?
Okay. Well, tell me the story.
Okay. So probably one of the worst ones was I looked at a table right in the front row. I was trying to work on crowd work, which I was really shitty at the time. And there was a guy and a girl right there. And I go, oh, hey, how's you guys' night going? Are you two on a date? And they went, no. And I was like, oh, you two aren't together? And they're like, we're brother and sister. So that kind of made the whole crowd cringe a little bit. And it got everybody a little bit awkward, which normally that situation gets people to laugh. So that made it kind of extra awkward because I was not prepared for that. Because usually when you get a couple mixed up and they're actually brother and sister, everybody just laughs it off. It's
Okay,
usually the
sure.
response. Right after that, I moved to the left, different couple. Asked them the same question, brother, sister, right?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Mm-hmm. During this whole time, I'm getting heckled by a really, really drunk old man, like 68, 69 years old,
Something like that.
super drunk, just hammered. The whole time he's just going, "You're shit."
Boo.
Not even that. You're garbage. You suck at this. And I'm-
dick.
Yeah. I'm just ignoring it the whole time. And this ended up being the cringiest night overall entirely because we ended up finding out he was sitting with his daughter and they hadn't seen each other. We found this out at the end of the night because they ended up both getting kicked out, both of them. The host came out, kicked out the dude and her, and she was like, I don't want to go. Do I have to go? And the host was like, yeah, you got to go too because you two are together. And she ended up talking to one of the bouncers at the club. The bouncer talked to us, and apparently they were estranged father and daughter, hadn't seen each other in 20 years because the father had a drinking problem and a little bit of a temper
Clearly.
problem, and swore that he had changed that night, and came back and just
Got
did
drunk
all the
and-
same shit again. Yeah, and the crowd was completely turned off after that because they knew they were father and daughter, and we watched this daughter just completely abandon her father, like in front of the crowd, everything. It was sad. It was cringy. It's not funny. It was very depressing.
That's not a good day.
That's
It's not a good day.
So I slept with her. No, I'm kidding. That was just to lighten it up.
Oh my god. We'll skip through. Let's go. GOAT comedian.
Yeah.
I'll give you top 5.
Okay.
No
good.
particular order because it's hard to pick. Okay, in reality,
Choose your goat at
GOAT
least.
comedian is Dave Chappelle. I always exclude
Agreed.
him. I always exclude him off of every single list when I'm talking about my favorite comedians. Dave Chappelle, when he got back from being on hiatus for years,
Yes.
like people hadn't heard his name in years.
Yeah.
So he's really got no popularity. He came back. He looked different. Remember, he's all
Looks
jacked
swole.
and shit. He doesn't even look like Dave Chappelle anymore. People don't recognize him. His name isn't really carrying any clout as far as stand-up goes. What this man did is he took a box speaker and a microphone. He went to the New York State Park,
Oh, I've seen that.
stood up
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
box, started just doing stand-up, just started talking. And by the end of the day, he would have a crowd of hundreds of people just sitting there watching him. Now, I doubt there's any other comedians who can really do that right now.
He had one of the longest sets too.
That's
ever.
true too, yeah, and entertaining.
Yeah. yeah.
Like
what-
longest, and
how-
everybody enjoyed it from the
How
end,
long was
beginning
it?
to the
Wasn't
end.
it like
He
a
did-
day or something?
No,
Like-
he did like
No, it
10,
was like
11 hours.
yeah,
something like
it might have
that.
been 11 or 12. It was a good chunk of time. An
Yeah.
hour is hard. I've been doing stand up for 7 years,
absolutely.
Chris. And I probably have 45 minutes.
Sure.
Like, how long do you guys think a set takes to write?
Takes to write or
Takes to write, like,
Probably week.
or how long do you think one of those comedy specials takes to write? That like Bill Burr and all
probably
the
a
weeks.
Yeah, like something that's like over an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The-
Couple weeks, a month.
The last comedy special that Bill Burr did, he did an interview afterwards. It took him 10 years to write that.
Jeez.
10 years.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's also
that's
perfecting the craft.
Craft. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for a special. I would say I typically like practice, rewrite, and perform a set for 6 months, and then I'll start getting paid to do it and be confident
Damn.
in that. So that's pretty crazy.
All right, so you got Dave Chappelle.
Okay, Dave Chappelle is obviously the GOAT, but I never include him in my top 5 because that's like it's boring at this point. It's like talking about snowboarding and always putting Shaun White. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, of course, yeah, the dude was crazy. Like or Tiger Woods in golf. It's like, let's talk
Yeah.
about some people.
Sure. Michael Phelps.
Not God.
Some people who faced controversy and had to
Yeah.
struggle. So I would say Bill Burr
good.
in
He's
that
good.
top 5.
He's good.
All right.
He's great.
George Carlin, which I doubt you two know.
I know. who
Not
he is.
familiar.
You know who he is? He's a GOAT.
Slick back, gray hair.
Yeah, yeah. He's a GOAT, way ahead of his
Person
time.
a lot.
You listen to his sets now, they still apply to today. And that's pretty impressive to have sets that do
Timeless.
that. Richard Pryor,
Oh,
gotta throw him in there.
he's great.
And Robin Williams. A lot
Oh.
of people sleep on his stand-up.
He-
Go
he's-
watch it.
He's
It's
good.
fantastic.
He's a great comedian.
Super
Great
funny dude.
Amazing comedian. The last one is always hard, and the last one typically varies just depending year to year,
Mhm.
depending on who I like in that year. Right now, I'd probably put Shane Gillis in my 5th.
Okay.
Don't know him.
Don't know
You-
Shane
you-
Gillis.
You know who he is. You
You
just
know who
don't
he is.
you don't recognize the name.
Have you seen like the Kill Tony, Trump, and Joe
yeah,
Biden?
yeah, the Joe Biden
sketch?
and Trump one.
Probably.
He's
Yeah.
the guy who's Trump in that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know. who
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Or what's another one?
He does Gillian Keeves, which is a skit show. He does like
Yes.
the Grill Sergeant.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
that's,
yes,
that's Shane
yeah.
Gillis. He does ISIS Toyota, which is fucking
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm Bob ISIS.
Yeah.
So I'd put him there, but I mean,
We're bombing the competition away.
Yeah. if we went back 2 years, it was Nate Bargatze, and if we went back 2 years before that, it was Sebastian Maniscalco.
You a fan of Matt Rife or no?
No.
Not your cup of tea.
He's not a teenage female, so
No, I'm not.
He's okay.
A lot of his jokes are, in my opinion, I don't think like I think a lot of his jokes were low hanging fruit. He's great at crowd work, and I will give him
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy
I
because
was about to
He is
say that.
fantastic at crowd
That's
work.
most like the clips
Yeah.
that I see is
I love his crowd work clips, so he's great there. But his written material, in my opinion, I think he spends more time on crowd work than written material, and I'm more of a written material guy than crowd work.
Gotcha.
True.
Mhm.
True.
Last thing before we
He's
get
attractive though. God really like fucked the rest of us by giving with both hands to him though, right?
out,
Funny and attractive. What a piece
celebrity
of shit.
crush. Celebrity crush.
Alexandra Daddario.
Do I not know? Who that is?
Alexandria Daddario. She was in the new remake of Baywatch.
Alexander.
If you pull her up, you'll know. She's got these like really crazy eyes, and just this
in the new Baywatch.
really
Yeah, I know.
the new Baywatch. Yeah. Zac Efron's love interest in the new Baywatch.
Okay.
Yeah, I know who she is.
So she's got these crazy blue eyes, and then I've watched her interviews, and she's got this really great, just awesome, big personality.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
Facts.
It would be her, Sofia Viarga, I think is how you pronounce that.
I don't know that one either.
As the Latino woman from Modern Family.
Not familiar.
Sophia
Viarga.
Verga. That is a beautiful woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Put them.
Yeah, cool.
Myself.
You got words of wisdom?
We'll wrap it up for this time.
Okay.
Hour 30.
I got words of wisdom.
Okay, perfect.
It's quick. It's
Go ahead.
fast.
Go ahead.
Always pay for a hooker in cash.
They take debit.
The good ones.
Cash App.
The ones where you don't have to take a
PayPal,
shot
yeah.
afterwards, too.
Yeah, they probably.
Shit, they take Bitcoin nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, they have companies.
Guest plugs. You got anything?
Anything you want to plug?
Well, not that. Well, sure. I've got 2 ticketed shows in October here. They are a bit of a drive, though. One's out in Greeley,
Okay.
and one, I believe, is in Evergreen. This is kind of a shitty plug because I'm not 100% sure on the Evergreen one. It might not be in Evergreen.
Still in Colorado, though.
Yeah, I'll be hosting, so you won't really see
We from
like
Colorado.
full-on material. You'll see a little more crowd work.
You got any? What's your IG? Let them know.
That's a good question. What is my IG?
You don't know your fucking own IG.
No, I'm not
Come on.
obsessed with social media. Instagram is marshmallow_B6. So
Okay.
go ahead and follow me. You'll see one post about stand up because I need to work on that.
Yeah, we need to get your stuff on there. I
Yeah.
would love to have your content. I'd love for you to make content and host your content
On the channel.
Oh yeah,
So
So
I'd
let's
be happy
discuss it
to.
more, man.
I mean,
But-
we made a fantastic skit the other day.
Yes,
and I think
yes,
that's the
check it
start.
out.
We got more coming too.
I think that's the start of a
Yeah.
bright future. Yeah.
I like
I
the
will be
skits.
here for any skit.
Hell yeah, brother.
Fuck you.
Here, I'll
Oh,
give you another one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is Awesome Life Podcast.
Yo,
Thank you
yo.
for rocking with us.
Appreciate y'all.
We're back, consistently back to our Friday, Saturday schedule.
Yes, sir.
We got Adam Moore coming in next week.
Keep
forward
that
to that.
dick soft in public places, people.
And we're gonna grind till
All right,
sun
we'll
up,
see you
sun
next
up.
week.
All we wanna do is turn up.
We're
And
gonna
we're
grind
gonna
till
grind
sun
till
up.
sun up. All we wanna